Hello everybody, Prepper003 here today, and today I'm going to be doing a little bit of a different topic. It still has to deal with the prepper community and even the militia community, but that is boots in a SHTF scenario. Now, right now I know that a lot of people choose different types of footwear depending on the season and depending on their own personal preference for their go-to boot or their go-to shoes for the given SHTF scenario and so on and so forth. But right now I'm going to mainly talk about boots for SHTF scenario. Now I'm not going to get into any specific brand or model, and let me get that right off the bat. It's mainly just a concept because I want to really start a discussion on what type of boots and the discussion of that and thereof. So right now I'm just going to start off by saying that right now there's going to be 4 points that I want to hit. That's going to be quality over quantity, long-term wear that you might see during an SHTF scenario, a change in the seasons, and in the overall profile of the shoes or boot, depending. So right now I'm just going to start off with what I have sitting over here from right to left. Right here is a military-style Danner boot. Then I have a pair of proper boots, some cat steel-toe boots, and then I have some Iris setters over here for my winter boots. Now, right now, each one of these I've worn for a long variety of time. These ones right here for a year and a half. These ones right here for 2 years, and these ones right here for two full winter seasons as well, which is about a full year in time in months. So right now, I'm going to start off with the discussion on quality over quantity. Now, I know for a lot of us preppers, one of the big things that we deal with is cost, and we try to stick a lot of our stuff towards more budget line items, watch for sales on things that are higher quality, and so on and so forth. So I would suggest, just my opinion, that you save up a little bit of cash and then spend that little bit of extra money on your given boot or your given shoe for your SHTF scenario. Now, the reason that I say that is because if you're having to bug out, you have to rely on your given boot or your given shoe for that bug out and for that extensive trip, and then also working in your bug out area, cutting down trees. That's a lot of mileage you're going to be putting on your shoe. So one of the things, and I'll use this one for an example here, is have some type of shoe glue or something like that on hand to repair your boot if it does have a tear or a rip or the soles start to come undone. Also know how to maybe resole your shoe if possible. Now this one right over here, I'll show an example of another type of wear that you might see, and why you might want to choose a little bit more quality boots is because you can have a wear in the stitching and you can also have that come apart. So that's why you want to go with a little bit of quality over the quantity, I should say. The next thing, as I've already touched on, is the long-term wear. And I've already showed you 2 examples here that you can see with wear. Another that I'll show you right here is of my workout tennis shoes that I've been wearing for the past 5 years. And you can see right here and over here that they've gotten quite a bit amount of wear all along it. Even the soles on the inside are pretty much worn down to nothing. So right now, those shoes have been going on and been doing a lot for me over the past 5 years, but that's just an example that I wanted to get out of there for you, is that these shoes can wear very quickly over a short period of time. So you're getting a little bit more quality of boot or something that's a lot better quality, better made, better manufactured, is going to end up lasting you a lot longer than your cheaper end options out there. Something similar to your Walmart variety boot, for example. Another thing is, if you're looking at long-term wear protection, having some type of covering for them in the winter. Because the one thing that I've noticed with my own boots is that in the winter, especially whenever they get soaked, if you're not wearing proper winterized boots like these right here, I've worn my summer-style boots out in the winter just to experiment for quite a few times at a lot of different overnight, weekend-long FTXs. And that is that if you don't have a covering for these can soak really quickly, and then they can freeze through very easily, and that causes a lot of the extra damage on the fabric and also a lot of damage on the stitching as well. So that's where you can have a lot of situations where you have the breaking and the fraying, as you see right here. Now I'm going to move on to the change in the seasons. As I've already mentioned, into winter and having the coveralls or your cover for like your Mickey boots, or like I had right here, which is just a pair of chem boot covers that I had that would go over your normal shoe or boot. So right now, having something that's going to prepare you for the season. So maybe have a nice, lightweight, breathable shoe or hiking boot or something like that for the summer and fall, and then have something more heavy duty like this right here for the winter. Maybe have one of them stored at your bug out location, or carry, if you can manage it with the extra weight, carry 2 pairs of boots on you. Now I know that that's a lot of extra weight that you're adding on to yourself, especially if you're going to be adding these right here, because these are about a pound for a boot because they are heavy insulated and they're also steel toed. So that does come into a factor. So that's just one thing that I wanted to mention, is that the change of the seasons can really cause a lot of damage on your boots and cause a lot of wear really quickly. Now the last thing I'm going to mention is going to be the profile. And what I mean by that is it's more of the gray man versus the tactical aspect. And what I mean by that is that you have a lot of people, especially in the prepper community, buying military style boots for their go-to boot or their bug out outfit, if you will. And I'm not trying to say that it's a dress-up type of deal, because a lot of us normally wear just standard clothes whenever we do our practice bug outs and everything, but a lot of people tend to use the military style boots just because they have a long track record, they have a high mile count, so they're going to be very durable, they're going to last quite a bit. But what I've seen is that even your military style boots, as I've showed you, they do have tears in them. With the example of this proper, the Danners, I've had hot weather boots that were military issue that I got brand new surplus that wore very quickly and had tears in them. So that's just an example of what can happen with going with military style boots. Now another thing is that you have the military style look, that something like this right here can technically be viewed as military equipment. So what can happen is you might be able to be spotted out just because your footwear, if you're trying to blend in. Because not a lot of people walk around every day wearing a military style boot, versus something similar to these right here. As in the winter and the fall, there's a lot of people in my rural area that wear hunting style boots, that wear insulated boots like these right here, no problem. And along with the area where I live in, it's an industrial area as well. So a lot of people walk around wearing construction boots like these right here, as these ones right here are my work shoe. So I do wear these almost every day for going out, doing groceries, working on the job, and everything else. So these ones right here do blend in very well to my surroundings. So that's what you just have to look into when you're trying to weigh the gauge and the pros versus cons of going with a military style boot or a civilian aspect boot. And so right now I just wanted to kind of get that out there. I wanted to really hear your guys' opinion on footwear for your given SHTF scenario or bugging out, and what you guys look for in going for a shoe. What I look for when I'm going to buy a new boot, or I'm searching the history of that, is I look for things that are used by hikers and by high quality survivalists, something that some people that actually put the extra effort into their training and everything. They go out and survive on long-term escapades, if you will, out into the wild and survive for months on end. They also go on long trails, put on that extra high mileage count. And also I look for things that are used by professionals like your professional rescuers and things like that are having to have a boot that's going to last them and be able to rely on that boot if the need arises. Right now, the ones that I've just been using right here are some kind of like the cat shoes right here. I've been using these for a long time, and right now I know a lot of other contractors have recommended them that I work with, so that's why I went with these. The reason I went with the Irish Settlers is a lot of the hunters and a lot of the snowplow guys use them, and a lot of hunters have used them in my area and recommended them to me. That's where I got the idea of going with these, the Irish Settlers. And right now the proppers, they had a pretty good track record. I got them on a sale. And the Danners, Danner has a really good name and a good reputation with the military, so that's why I went with the Danners. But as you can see, these two right here already started showing signs of wear, as these ones right here are still holding up fairly well. Especially these ones right here, which I've been using for the past 3 years, and they don't have much of a signs of wear besides me having to replace the laces every now and again. So thanks for watching. I really just wanted to kind of get your guys' feel for it, as I mentioned earlier, and to see what you guys want to say. So thanks for watching. Pepper0030 out. Remember, prepare for today, survive tomorrow.